working on my friend's 2000 F-250. Gonna put this air horn in here, and it's an absolute pain to get to these horns. They're back there, in between the two layers of the fender. So far I've taken out all of these, minus, that's from the mud flap here. I don't know, I went with 3/8 hex head there, a Phillips there, which is stripped out now, and then like a carriage bolt, so you can't even get that out from the outside. So making this fun, trying to take it out. But yeah, so that's what you have to do to access this horn. Here's the 3 nuts there, one of those fender washer bolts there, another up here, another is right here, and then a little plastic tree on the other side of that fender. Hopefully I can get this out. That is the big holdup. I have to try to see if I can get back behind it, because I'm having some issues with my arm. So don't know if I need to, if I can get in there, get to the wiring, and pull everything out. So working on that. But yeah, there's 2 horns on the inside of the fender, so that's gonna be fun trying to remove those. So pulled out the little battery safety there with an 8mm, and looks like this little guy down here is gonna have to come out. I believe that's what's holding the bracket in there. Fingers crossed it drops both of them. Okay, so they are loose. Issue is going to be disconnecting the wiring. I have to put something in here to kind of wedge that back. Alright, and here's the unit. So it's just hanging like that on the inside. Has a little pinch clip. So don't try and pry those out on here. Those are where you pinch to loosen up there. Otherwise you will crack these. So that's what I did. Oh well, this is all coming out. I'm going to be cutting this off anyway, because I'm going to be running the wiring to the horn. So this doesn't really matter. I'm just going to clip this. I'll either tape it in here or leave it on that to use later. Probably just leave it with this, just in case we want to hook it up on something else. So that's the item there. If you need the part number. And then that's the wiring. Pretty easy to pull out once you get in here. So it was a big pain in the butt trying to pull this out. So I've got like 2 or 3 of these kits. I've got another one waiting to be installed on another vehicle. But yeah, here's the instructions. Since it's Audew, it says nothing like that on the outside of the packaging. Not even there, just made in China. So, oh wait, here's our website. But, says the compressor must be installed vertically and away from the engine or heating parts. Horn slightly downward installation. That's just so you don't get water staying in it. Otherwise, if it holds water, then it's obviously not going to work. So try and angle it down somewhat, at least at a slight angle, so water's not splashing in it. It is metal. I think they kind of screwed up on this, because I don't think you're supposed to get the relay, and I think the extra tube is yeah, it's not like you can really use that. You just have one outlet that goes to the horn. So Try to install this like that. Try to install this slightly downward, somewhat, however you can do it. I think I took this off of one and just zip tied it, either on my quad or my van or something. This would be better behind the fender well, so it doesn't get anything in there. But you can tell this has gotten some water, at least on that horn. For 50,000 miles, 58,000 miles. It's going to get worse the longer you have it. You don't want to do that again, so try and take care of it. If nothing else, if you mount this outside of, inside of the bay, try not to get water in it, then you can hopefully replace this easily. Probably takes air in that. I'd say that's the hole there for the air inlet, and then outlet there. And there's your positive and negative, 12 volts. Alright, cut the wire off. Black to negative, yellow green to positive. Tested it. It works. Can't test it while I'm not in the vehicle. So I heard it spin, kind of a loud whirring noise. Just sound of the motor spinning, because this is twisting around when I hop back out, and then just creating air pressure. So I'm gonna mount this up inside. Not a great location, but you know, whatever fits. I have got this mounted so it's zip tied so it won't fall out. Also, not a great location, but up here under the battery, straight down there, got a zip tied there, and also down in here. So it works. So I wish I had a better place, but there's not much space in these trucks, especially with a V10 in it. Alright, so everything's zip tied in place. I zip tied the hose because I don't have hose clamps. It's not super important. If it were something super important, high pressure, I would use a hose clamp. Zip tie will be fine. So got zip tie put around to hold it in, and just so it doesn't go flying if you get in an accident. And then also have the hole that I talked about before is facing down, so water shouldn't get in it unless it's coming flying up, which it's on top of the fender well. It should, as long as you're not going mudding, it's going to be fine. And he takes care of this. So the compressor is zip tied in place, the horn zip tied in place. I just have to bolt everything back together. I tested it, it works, so we're good to go. Alright, and there's the other bolt and the little tree bolt. And you don't have to take those 3 nuts off if you don't plan to pull the whole thing out. So I was fine. I would have been fine, but oh well, it's just as easy. But there we are. All set. Can't even really see it from here. Right there. Sticking out. So it's tilted down enough, it'll drain. So we're good. I mounted this inside, have it hooked up to the standard horn. Here's what she sounds like. Nice and loud, just like the other kit I bought. So I definitely recommend it if you want to get a little more sound to your horn. But here we go. Nice and loud. Sounds pretty good for 16 bucks is what I paid for it.